Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ball in Motion. You're tuned into the BIMChat with myself, Dineo Promudisa. We're just waiting on Emma to connect. And I think we got her. Good evening, Emma.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
It's a pleasure.
I think it's a great opportunity that we have right now to be talking to someone who has journeyed through basically basketball or South Africa's women's basketball for the longest time, and I believe has made an impact into where we are today. So thank you once again.
You're welcome.
And so we just want to, I think, take things from where it all began, how you got into the whole journey of playing basketball.
Sure. Look, my story dates back many, many moons ago, but I think it was 94. Had just moved to Cape Town with my family, so I was at a new school, had never been exposed to basketball before, so I used to run track. And so as you know, like usually, they would have athletics at the beginning of the year. So it was inter-houses, I think, and I just finished running 200 meters. I came first. So this teacher came running, towards me, and she asked me if I'd played basketball before, because she had never seen me before, obviously. So I said no, I wasn't familiar. And then she invited me to practice. That was 94. And yeah, so a week later, I was on the basketball court, didn't know what I was doing, because the other girls that were there already had some basketball backgrounds, to them, because they had been playing basketball already. So I was new, but very curious at the same time, very excited, about that opportunity, because I already knew that basketball was a very cool, funky sport, and wanted to be associated with it. So that opportunity, was presented to me, and I grabbed it. Yeah.
Okay, and then later on, I think in 1995, you went to try out for the Western Province girls team, I believe.
Yes. So look, back in the 90s, there was a lot of basketball, and it was really organized. So in the local league, the Western Cape or Western Province, in the Western Province league, they had school girls playing in it, but it was club basketball. So a letter came to our school inviting, interested girls to come to trials. I went, and still not with a lot of experience, but I suppose with a lot of potential, because then I got picked. There were so many girls there, lots of girls, but they only chose, I think 24, because they made 2 teams, and I was one of the lucky ones that got selected. And yeah, so I started playing, call it club basketball, because then this is outside of school environment. So I started playing club basketball in 95 with senior players, because I was actually one of the youngest players on my team, if not the youngest at the time. And so I got to play with very experienced players, good coach as well at the time, because she was the national under-17 coach, Mrs. Bev Ashworth. So yeah, I worked a lot with her, and she helped me a lot with my basketball.
That's really, really, really amazing. Such an amazing journey that you've had. And I think then later on, you were able to play for the province. You were selected for the provincial team, which was coached by, I think, the very same coach that you've been talking about.
Yes. So she happened to be the national and provincial coach, and so my club coach. So I suppose I had that advantage as well. But look, this was also an interesting time in South Africa at that time, because so we're talking 95. So it's new South Africa. Government is changing policies, enforcing some of the policies as well. So I didn't know at the time when I got picked, but I later found out that BSA, Basketball South Africa, had mandated or sent out communication that actually came from the top, from government, to say that all sporting codes, all teams, especially provincial teams and I suppose national teams as well, had to implement this quota system, So I was picked. I think it was a combination, of me being a non-white player, and also because of my potential. So I went on tour in '95. Back then, we still called under 19s, and it was in Free State. We went to went to KZN. We went to KZN. I got there, and very interesting tournament. So I got to play in the first 2 games. And after that, obviously, you go, as you progress into the tournament, games get tougher, competition also, becomes really, really stiff. So I didn't play in the second game. So going to my room that evening, went to the coach's room as well to go find out why did I not play, because my understanding at the time is that it's a team sport, everybody gets to play. So she just explained to me that, look, it was a really tough game, and we needed to win. Not that I was, the pep talk, how it goes. But basically, she just said, look, you didn't play this game, but doesn't mean that you're not going to play the next game, So keep your head up. You're still part of the team, So the next day, we play again. Same thing happens. I don't get to play. I go to the coach's room again. What's wrong with me? Why am I not playing, Don't you like me no more? So she's like, no. But fortunately, I wasn't the only one. There were 2 of us. There was another girl by the name of Emma as well, So the 2 of us were just riding the bench that whole tournament. So we, and we were rookies. So we were not understanding, at the time, why is it that you can't play all 12 players? So a lot of learning there, a lot of, when you get thrown into the deep end and now you have to either you swim or sink type of thing, So are you going to stay with the team? You're going to keep your attitude right, or you're going to just drift away? So I was mentally challenged as well for the first time on the tour to say that even if you don't get to play, you're still part of the team. But how do you then, stay positive and stay, remain a good teammate? It was a good learning. So that was '95. I went back home. So I later found out that, there was this quota system thing. So they needed to have me on the team, which I really didn't like it. And I told myself that I don't ever want to be on a team because of the color of my skin. I want to be on the team because of my ability, because of my skill level. So as much as it was not nice to find out, especially at that age, that, that was happening in the world, but it was also a motivation for me because I went back. Look, I must have been 16 at the time, and it was under 19. So I still had 2 more years to play, in that age group. So I went back home, told my parents the story. They were like, okay, such is life. But I took that as a challenge. So every weekend, every Saturday for the next year, I went to UCT to go play basketball with the boys. Boys, and some of them were actually professional players at the time because they had this league called PBL, Premier Basketball League. And so the guys, from around Cape Town and stuff like that would link up at UCT to play pickup games. And so I got invited one time because I just went to shoot. And the one day, these 2 guys didn't have a third player because we were playing 3-on-3. And they invited me to come play with them. And then I joined them, and look, it was an interesting experience. But I enjoyed it so much that the following weekend I went back, and the weekend after that, and the weekend after that, and next thing you know, it's a year later when I play with girls, my game had elevated from down here to up there, only because I wanted to be better, I was motivated. I didn't want to go back the next year on the tour and sit on the bench again or make the team because of anything else outside of my skill. Yeah, so that's what happened.
But I guess, as you said, it was the motivation that you needed because you said every single Saturday you would go to UCT. And I think that was something that was very inspiring to me, to see that you actually put in that effort. I think you said you traveled with a taxi and then you took 2 trains, I think, or something.
True, yeah. So my Saturday routine, basically, I had to do my chores at home, which is wash my school socks and vacuum, clean the lounge and stuff like that. And then I could go. So my parents would only let me go on that condition that I did that. So I'd catch a taxi in front of my house to the train station, and then I'll catch the train. At the next 2 stations later, there was a male friend that would be waiting for me there. So we get on the train, or he'll get on the train, and then 2 stations later, we take a different train. So I'd leave the house at 12. By the time we get to UCT, it is now like 2:30ish, So we're there for the 3 o'clock pickup games. So that was pretty much the routine. So I'll play basketball with the guys from 3 until 7, 8 p.m.
Wow.
I mean, it would be intense, very intense. I was having so much fun, though. I really was. That's why I was there every weekend. Nice thing about it, though, with my parents is that they were very supportive, I mean, if you speak to my mom now, she'll tell you that basketball was my babysitter, So she took comfort in knowing that, okay, I was going to do something that's going to keep me away from trouble, something that I enjoyed. And so she didn't have a problem with coming to fetch me from UCT, which was quite a long drive because I lived in the northern suburbs, and UCT, if you know Cape Town, is on the other side. So she would get obviously on the freeway for another 20 minutes just to get to UCT to pick me up. And she was more than happy because when she gets there, she'll still find me playing, and I don't want to go yet because I'm having so much fun. So yeah, my parents were really supportive.
And how did it feel after putting in so much of that sacrifice, when you were finally awarded the All-Star Award the second time that you made the provincial team?
Yeah. Oh, that story. So, as I mentioned, so the very next year, this is now 1996, and I grew up in Cape Town, and we were now the hosts of the national tournament. So we played, I think, at CPUT. I even got to be a starter, for Western Cape. At the time, it was called Western Cape. No, Western Province, sorry. It was still called Western Province. So I had a really good tournament. I mean, like from the previous year where I was in terms of my skill level to a year later, from being deep on the bench, like being the 12th or 11th man to being the starting lineup, that was actually a big move. And I had a very, very good tournament. I wanted to prove a lot to even my previous coach, because she wasn't coaching me that year, but she would come and watch the games. I wanted to prove a point to myself as well, and anybody else that was there the previous year, saw me playing or sitting on the bench, that I could actually play, good basketball. I was actually capable of being in the starting lineup and doing a whole lot more. So great tournament I had. And at the end of the tournament, when they're recognizing, teams and individuals, I was awarded with the All-Star trophy. And my previous coach was there to witness that moment. And she called me after the ceremony. She gave me a hug and told me that she was very proud of me and that she knew that I was capable of, being an all-star and even being bigger and better than an all-star. Yeah. So I think for me, it was also a turning point, because for a year, kind of like I was holding a grudge against this coach who didn't tell me the first time that she was taking me for reasons that she couldn't actually disclose at the time. But when she actually said to me that she knew, she picked me the previous year because she had faith in me, she saw the potential in me, that's why she gave me a chance, and to see me now, moving from being a bench player to being an all-star, it was actually also a proud moment for her, that she wasn't wrong about me.
That's very interesting. And also, I think we're gonna just take a look at some of the questions that people have posted. And Tepo Tau says, what was it like playing in America, and how was it different from South African basketball?
Wow, Tepo, it was a dream come true. Although a dream that was realized very late in life, because I went to America when I was slightly older. I could have gone at the age of 19, but I was too scared to go at the time. So in terms of, the difference between American basketball and South African basketball, day and night, really. Basketball is played at the highest level. They're very competitive, very professionally organized, very, like, they take it seriously. Everybody studying, the guy that cleans the floor for you, the guy that's going to keep the stats for the team, the cheerleaders, the community even, because they come to watch the game, the coaching staff, the players themselves, everybody is so professional and they very committed. Yeah. So, but I've had some really good years there. I learned a lot. I would unfortunately, some experiences you can't tell them, you can't use words, you can't articulate them, but you can only wish that you can take that moment and bring it here and present it to people so they can actually see and witness it themselves. It's the only way, because words are not enough. But it was great.
Okay, and Tate James says, what advice could you give to someone wanting to play basketball in America?
Everybody wants to go to America, right? Wow. What advice? Firstly, you must want to do it. You must want to get better. You must want to to accept the challenge when it's presented to you, because you will get challenged when you're out there, on and off the court. So you have to be mentally ready. It's not just I want to get on the plane and go play basketball in America, because some people have done that and they have failed. It didn't work out for them. So you need to be prepared to put in extra work, to be exposed to different culture completely. I think more than anything, it's about mental preparedness. Because everything else, if you've got the potential, even if it's called raw talent, it's fine. As long as your attitude and your mind is right, you'll be all right.
Rory Sang Ricky says, what position, did you play?
So when I got recruited, they thought they were recruiting a post player, but when I got there, they got an all-round player, because depending on the game strategy, the opposition obviously, and how ticked off the coach is with some of the players on the team, you just get thrown into a position and you must just be able to play it. So in my case, I pretty much played 3, 4, 5 at another university, because I transferred after 2 years. So when I went to Mobile, the coach would even play me as a 1 at times. So pretty much, all the positions. So I played 1, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. And what skills have you learned from playing that you think are still relevant today?
what skills, talking about just in the States or as a basketball player?
As a basketball player.
I think everything is still relevant, you know. But okay, I'm gonna sort of answer it differently. I would encourage any player to learn all the positions. Get your dribbling right, get your shooting right, get your boxing out right, everything right, because nowadays you can see you got some of the tallest players bringing up the ball because they can actually bring up the ball. So it's no longer about height or anything like that. It's about your ability. Yeah. So don't box yourself and say this is a position. Don't do that yourself, or don't let anybody do that to you. You need to just be able to play anywhere on the floor, because then that's how you're gonna have so much fun. Actually, that's how I enjoy my basketball. When I started playing basketball, they said I was a post player because of my height. I was limited in terms of what I could do, but playing outside of like my teams, when I went to play pickup games with the guys, because obviously I get there, I'm no longer the tallest player, but then I need to be able to do other things, because taller players are the ones that are playing inside. So now I'm finding myself playing outside, so I need to be able to shoot, dribble the ball and stuff like that. So don't limit yourself to a position. Just learn how to play all the positions, because today's basketball actually requires that of players. Be an all-rounder.
And with the experience that you have, what role would you like to play during basketball in the country?
You're breaking up. I missed that in the middle. But I missed that. Can you just repeat that, please?
I was asking that with all the experience that you have gained, what role would you like to play in building basketball in South Africa? Basically growing basketball in the country.
I'm a bit torn, because basketball right now in South Africa needs help in all directions. It needs help everywhere. You almost feel like you're spreading yourself too thin if you playing different roles or wearing different hats. So I'm torn between administration and being a coach, because I have so much knowledge. I've learned so much. I've got, that experience. I want to impart that. I want to, teach other players how to play, how to, to conduct themselves on the floor. However, our basketball office as well is in disarray. It's not looking good. So you need somebody with passion as well that understands, the administration of the sport to almost be in office and help to give, order to what's currently going on. So, but I'm still passionate about coaching, because they is too much. It's the players don't have the basics. So
Okay.
yeah. So between coaching and being an administrator, so I'm doing both at this time. But I think coaching is better suited for me.
And any message of encouragement that you would give to girls and that play sports? Anything not anything, but I think in particular, especially basketball.
Yeah. Well, look. Like I just said, like right with the current the state of basketball in the country not being as rosy as it should be, it's really not attracting young players, especially female players. We're losing them to other sporting codes like netball and stuff. But any young girl that wants to play basketball or sport for that matter, I'd say, go for it. Give it your best shot. Because I look at my life, where I am now, and what basketball has actually really done for me, and I'm just so appreciative. It's really done a lot for me. I've been around the world. I mean, yes, I went to school in the US, but then I also traveled with the national team. I've seen the world. I've gone to school for free. I think I'm a better person, more responsible citizen as well. Basketball has really molded me into the person that I am today, on and off the court. So just focus on it and keep working hard, and it's gonna be okay one day. It's right now it's not where it's supposed to be, the basketball in the country, but hang in there. Just keep working on your own skills, individual skill, personal skill. Want to grow, challenge yourself, play with people that are better than you, and you'll be all right.
Thank you so much, Emma. I feel like we could go on and on and on, but I know we're gonna have to let you go, based on the time that we had scheduled for now. But I think most of the viewers appreciate the words that you've shared with us throughout this BIMChat. I think we can take just the last 2 questions just before we let you go.
All right.
Okay. Olerato Violet Monaring says, who is your favorite basketball player and what inspired you about them?
On the female side, I enjoy Candace Parker. I enjoy watching her play. So I remember when 2 years apart, yet her game, I could learn so much.
Are you back?
I've been here, which is, you were sort of frozen on my screen though, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I think everything, I can hear you. I think the network is fine now.
Okay.
Let me take one question and then we can let you go. Does height really play? This is Kutlwano Musimane Khape who asks, does height really play a big impact? He says also further on, sure, we have example of good players who are short within the game, but from your perspective and looking at it objectively, does it have an impact?
Yes, but it's a yes with a but at the end. Look, I think more than anything, it's the heart that plays or has an impact, or does play an impact, or however way you want to put it. But I've seen really short players that impact the game big time. because of their spirit, because of, the fight in them. And I've seen tall players and just not showing up, So you can be tall and not be effective, and you can be short and be effective. So it's about the individual, really, So height should never really deter you. So you must just, but if you're a short player, please understand that and play within your capabilities and your strength, because I've seen short players going into the key, driving to the key on tall players and failing to read that the moment and the game at that time to say, look, I've gone inside, now people are collapsing me, taller people are collapsing, let me dish the ball, out to somebody else. They still want to go up and they get blocked, and it's not nice. And that also sometimes becomes a turnover. So read the game, make peace with your height, and play according to your height and your skill, ability and stuff, make the right decisions. But yeah, I think, to answer the question honestly in one sentence, it's the heart that really determines how far you're gonna go in the game.
Very well said, Emma. Thank you so much for taking that opportunity to chat with us. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, you also have a great evening.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.